Welcome to We Talk Spanglish with your host, Manefta. The time has arrived. I am finally sitting in my own little podcast area. I cannot fucking believe it. It took me forever. I swear that this podcast will be the death of me. But I'm going to kick this podcast in the ass. And I'm going to show it who the fuck is boss. Because girl, when I tell you, from mics to batteries to setup to lighting to interviews to editing, what a fucking headache. But tell me, do you guys like it? Is it warm? Is it cozy? Is it inviting? I mean, shit. I worked really fucking hard on this. You would think I paid somebody to do this, but no, that's not what's going on here. Moi DIY'd this herself. Well, I did slave the kids a little bit. Well, just a little bit, but I give them whatever the fuck they want. So you know what? Touche. But I want to get down to business. I've been meaning to talk about a lot of things that you guys have a lot of questions about, a lot of questions that I want to answer for everyone in reference to a lot of things that we've been chit-chatting about in our DMs. A lot of you want to know how I feel about this whole summer house thing and why it made me feel sick. Why did I feel that way? Why did and I swear, watching yesterday's episode, which was the last episode, my stomach was rumbling and tumbling and doing ungodly things. I swear to God, I was looking at Ava and I was like, girl, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening, but my stomach is definitely reacting. I went through a very traumatic divorce when I was little. And I feel like it's crazy because when I called my mom, I said, Mommy, my stomach is in knots. Like I feel nauseous watching this right now. And like I am sick to my stomach. And my mom was like, yeah, me too. I kind of feel like it brought up old memories. I was like, oh, this is crazy. Like the fact that we're both feeling the same way, that's wild. And I feel like it's crazy how a scent or a song or even like a place can trigger memories in you. And it can trigger a memory, good or bad, but it can trigger this memory to an extent where like you remember either a part of something you forgot or you just remember everything again. But it's kind of crazy how your memories are so tied to your emotions and why we all say nostalgia hurts. But before we get into the whole divorce story, because I'm gonna tell you guys the story. And then you guys can be the judge of that. And why I feel so traumatized. But I want to get to some questions that you guys have been asking me, and I think we should just do it. So let's do it. Here are some of the questions that you guys have sent me. I wrote them down. Well, I copied and pasted them. But I put them in my notes so that, we're not so lost. A lot of you guys want to know how I feel about my big baby moving out. I feel like everyone expects you to feel the same. Like, you're going to be sad, you're going to be depressed, you're an empty nest. I still have 2 kids in the house. However, we do feel different. The house feels different. The vibe feels different. We almost feel like we're at half capacity, not max capacity on this ship. But I don't feel sad. She does live down the road, which makes it so much better. I see her almost every day. Ollie comes by every day. I gained this space and this little independent area for myself, para moi. And I'm excited about that because for me, that gives me a little bit of a workspace. I can come in here, close the door, not bother anyone, not be like, shh, I'm filming, or shut the fuck up, because that's a good one. That's a good one too. I like that one. Pero at the same time, I, have gained a little bit of independence. So it is weird. However, it isn't sad. It's actually something that's so empowering. She's starting her little nail business, little, because it's going to be huge. Right now, it's little. And I think it's so amazing that she gets to work from her home. She has her own nail room. She has her own space. She can take whatever clients she wants to take. She's working her job in the meantime so that, she still has enough income until she gets enough clientele, which that's amazing. Like, oh my God, how can I be sad about that? It's kind of like when the kids go off to college. I guess college is a little different because you still see them like so little. They're going to school, aka school. But, this has been a great transition. I went over there, I cut off all my nails, my natural nails. Those were my natural nails. And we spent like 5 hours together. She's coming now to bring the dog. And I'm like, hey, don't make noise because I'm filming. Just in case she wants to come in here. She helped me put up all the flowers and stuff. Ava and Gavin helped me put up this whole vine wall. Herbie put up this curtain rod for me with the curtains. The kids helped me bring up the furniture. Like, this was a fucking family affair. Well, my affair, but a family affair, if that. I definitely am feeling grateful. I'm feeling blessed, and that's my answer to that question. I feel like we are all thriving, so there's really nothing to be sad about or depressed about. I feel like that's a stigma that a lot of people put on parents. They're like, oh, you're an empty nester, or you're this, or you're that. Like, no, we're fine. We're doing okay. We're adjusting, but we're doing okay. So I want to let you guys know that I'm doing okay. Faithlyn is doing amazing. Girl, she don't give a fuck. She's like, I gotta go home. I gotta leave. And I look at her and I'm like, okay, fine, go. Next question. Okay, how has Callie adjusted to Ollie? Oh my God. Yesterday, they were both together, running around. We were trying to watch the episode of The City because we usually watch Summer House and then we'll watch that episode. That's me and Ava's show. We'll watch that episode after. Oh my God, we had to pause it 1,000 times. We were screaming at the dogs. They were literally play fighting the whole time. Ollie does have someone to stay with when we all have to go out, which makes my heart really happy because he really suffers being alone. He yelps and yelps and yelps and has a major, major, major heart attack. Sometimes I think he dies and comes back to life because the way he died, he is so dramatic. And, Ollie would not survive without Callie. Now, how is Callie? Callie loves him. He hates him, but he loves him. It's kind of like a love-hate. It's just that he has to, like, big brother him. So he's like, when he'll come around him, he'll kind of, like, bitch a little bit. And, but then he's up and running around with him, running after him down the hallway. And Ollie is fast as fuck. Like, this dog is so fucking fast. That sometimes I'm like, bro, where is he? I can hear his little feet because he makes a lot of noise, even though he's so tiny. His little feet, they're really fast. And Callie is like, I cannot keep up with this guy. When he was a lot smaller, he would go and dive under my bed. So he doesn't fit anymore. He learned that the hard way. I was dying. I was like, oh my God. But that day that he did that, the last time that he was able to go under the bed, he hit his head and he was like, what the hell happened? And he'll pretend like he can still go under the bed, even though he can't because he doesn't fit. But he'll like try to dive and pretend, knowing that he can't because he's going to fuck himself up. But he'll like, be cautious about it. And I think that is the most hilarious thing in the world. He tries to juke the dog. And Callie's like, boy, you fast as fuck, but you can't play me. I love to see it. He brings out the, younger side of Callie and riles him up and just makes him vivacious. And I love that. I think it's such a great middle ground that they have because he's such a baby and he's so much older that, they kind of like even each other out. Ollie's a good boy. He does not chew on things. He does not go in the bathroom in the house. He doesn't do pee-pee, caca everywhere. He's not that kind of dog. So he will stay. He's just very needy. That's the kind of dog that he is. He needs to have a heartbeat, if you will, in order to survive. And by eso, he still cries. I think that in that Dotson line, because he's half Chihuahua, half Dotson, they're just whiners. They cry a lot. And Callie's so vocal that it's like a fucking orchestra. They're like, "Arr!" And I'm like, oh my God. They're not even like fighting. They're playing with each other and they're so loud that I cannot hear the TV. I cannot think what I'm doing. It drives me insane. But loving it. They're loving each other. And that's where we are with that. Next question. Let's go to the next question. Okay. How long have you been doing content? I've been doing content for 4 years now. I've been creating content for 4 fucking years. Wow. As long as, well, a little bit more before I moved to Tampa is when I started doing content. And then when I literally got here, like I want to say maybe a month later is when everything just really took off. And I want to say that was like in March, April, no, it was March. It was like March 2022. And what a fun time. Had a great time. I did the 305 day and we did a bunch of cool stuff and that was super fun. And now I'm still making this content. I love it. I try to integrate other things. You guys love the cooking videos and I have so much fun making them. They're fucking hard. But my most challenged content to this day will be this podcast. This podcast will be the most challenging thing I've done thus far as work in my life. So it's definitely the podcast. Me saca yogul. Pero bueno, here I am because I like to chismotear and talk shit. And you guys send me the funniest questions and the funniest comments. You guys make my comment section so fun. I literally have a blast. Some of the things that you guys say are so much funnier than what I have to say. But we still love it. We still love it. So that's always fun. Next question. How do you cope being without your family? All my family is in Miami. You guys know that. And I want to say that at first it was like a shock that like I had all of these new things to go see and all these new things to go do. And I do go back to Miami a lot. My mom comes up. She hasn't been up for a while since like Christmas, but I go down more than she comes up. And I do try to see as much as my family as I can. It's a little different now because my grandma passed and it's like less things that I have to go back to Miami for, and that's kind of weird. It feels I feel like I'm dissociating from going back right now because of the fact that every time I went down I would go and I would visit my grandmother and spend time with her, and that was like part of my routine. I also was still doing Ava's braces. That was also part of the reason why we went back so many times within the first 2 or 3 years that we were living here. But now everything is like Tampa based. And like, this is my flow. This is my circle. I miss my village of people. For example, when I was doing this entire room and having a fucking meltdown because I swear everything went wrong. And it was like such a test to be like, do you really want this? Yes, I do. And I'm going to continue to push through it. But I missed my village of people. People I could have just rung up and been like, hey, I'm struggling with this. Can you help me with this? I don't have that here. And that's where what I find challenging to me. It's challenging that I don't get to just pick up the phone. I'm not 30 minutes away, 20 minutes away, 15 minutes away. And that's kind of crazy. But then there's the upside where I'm still not missing out on anything. Like I'm planning my little baby cousin's having a baby and we're planning the baby shower and we're doing everything. We talk on the phone every day. We FaceTime, you know, we did the baby registry. We've done everything almost together that I feel like I'm not missing out. And that's extremely important to me because my family is really, really big. And with that being said, I have a lot of kids that we were raised together, you know, that we had barbecues together every weekend. We went to the pool together. We went to the beach together. It was something that we always had, was each other. And my family is based of all girls. There's only one boy. So there's 13, well, now there's 14 because of Joan. But there's 14 great-grandchildren. Well, no, 14 grandchildren. Sorry, I digress. 14 grandchildren that my grandmother and grandfather had. And besides Joan and Chacho, they're all girls. We are all girls. And my grandfather had 4 girls. So my grandparents were like a girl-based family. Like, we are all girls. We were and are the sisterhood that friends want to have, except we're actually prima hermanas, which is so cool. Had so much fun growing up, watching all the kids grow up and being able to be involved in their life is what it's all about. Like, if you're going to be a parent and you're a parent for those 18 years, you have more time with them as adults and their family and their kids and being involved in their lives than when they're younger. Because obviously you're only 18 for 18 years. But it's such a different way of looking at it, because now it's their kids and I'm watching them be parents, and it fills my cup. It makes me so fulfilled to see them successful, to see, like, I have nothing to be sad about. And I know that my grandmother passed, and it was hard. That was such a hard passing. It was very long and tumultuous, and it was just so, like, nerve-wracking for so long that it was very hard on my aunts. It was very hard on my mom. And prior to that, we lost my grandfather in 2019. So they don't have their parents anymore. And that's kind of hard for me to, like, come to terms with. Like, oh my God, I can't believe that I'm never going to see her again. And it's crazy because when I went over there to see her, obviously we talked about it. I had such a great photo shoot with her. It was her birthday. 3 days later, which all her siblings went to see her. 3 days later, her brother passed. And I'm not even kidding. A week later, my grandmother was just declining so fast. It was insane. Like, he came to get her. I genuinely believe that. And I'm glad that he did, because she's resting. She's not in a place that I have to go visit her. Or even though the place was amazing, that place took such good care of my grandma. I think it's called The Secret something. It's off Eureka and 137 all the way at the end when you pass like 170. And the place is great. The people are great. The coordinators, the food, they would give them like these great, beautiful like chef meals, and they made parties for them, and they made my grandmother feel really special and really loved. But there's nothing like your own family. And that's tough, because given the whole rent situation in Miami as well, and it's hard to say, okay, I'm gonna bring my mom to live here if you don't have extra room to put your mom or your dad or any family member. It's really difficult. You have to make a difficult decision of what you're gonna do with them, where you're gonna put them, what's best for them. Even though it hurts, you have to make that decision as a family. And that was really hard for my mom and my aunts. I feel like, it definitely bonded them. And it's something that, they're gonna go through together. So I'm kind of glad my mom is still in Miami, but I still want that bitch to move here. I said what I said. I want her to come and live with me over here. Old lady, come live with me. But she has her little job over there, and she babysits dogs with my aunt. She has a babysitting company for pets, and she helps her on the weekends, and she does her little thing, and she's just living her best Maria life. And, I'm going to let her do that. But then she needs to come over here. It's time to come to live with your daughter. Come, mama, come. When me and my sister are talking, that I'm like, yeah, because my mom, and she's like, you mean mom, not my mom, mom. Like, yes, our mom. Wink, wink. Will you ever come back to Miami with your family? As of right now, I never say never. To me, never say never. For what? Why? You never know what's going to happen. You never know if life might take me back to Miami. But right now, where I'm at, if anything, if I were to move again, like maybe to another area or another state, it would not be Miami. Miami it's too overcrowded right now. It's the same, if anything worse. The traffic is fucking wild. After not having to deal with that traffic, I don't think I can ever deal with that traffic again. I sit in traffic now and I'm like dying. But that is some traffic for that ass. Like, you're sitting in that bitch wherever you go. It takes me 20 minutes to do 0.5 miles. And here it like takes me 20 minutes to do like 25 miles. So yeah, chop it up however you want. But sitting in traffic sucks. And I probably wouldn't go back there just for my family, because I didn't stay just for my family. So why would I go back? I don't know. It's a good question though. But right now, I'm happy where I'm at. I like my little circle. So you guys want to know how this whole thing started with me feeling sick of summer house, and I want to get back to that. And I wanted to leave this for the last part of the podcast, because I want to make this into parts. This is going to take a while. So I'm definitely going to talk about my true life story, what happened to me, what happened to my mom, and my background, and how we're even here at this moment. We're going to talk about all of it because I feel like it's time. I feel like there's so many questions about it. You guys were like, why are you feeling so sick about this whole scenario of these people and this scandal? This scandal, it's a scandal. Because I went through something extremely similar, but it wasn't similar in that way. And it didn't happen directly to me. I was involved because it was my parents. When I tell you that I still have friends, family, and people that are randomly, like, they'll reach out to me and be like, oh my God, do you remember like your parents divorced? My God, I'll never forget that. That was like the worst divorce ever. Like, it was bad. And the severity of it has a lot to do with the timing, which reminds me of this whole timeline that these, people are saying that they weren't together at this time, but then it looks like they were together while they were filming in Summer House, while she was still with Kyle. And it's like the betrayal of it all, the level, the audacity of that betrayal was literally hitting so home for me that it made me feel sick. And when I called my mom that I talked to her, I was like, Mom, why do I feel this way? Why do I feel like almost like nauseous, like sick to my stomach, like, And she said, oh my God, I can't believe you're telling me that because it's exactly how I felt when I was watching it. I kind of like went back. And that's when I was like, oh my God, this is like a trauma-related bond that we have. And yeah, she's my mother. We are so bonded, like to the hip. Adore my mother. But I can't believe that we actually felt the same emotions come up from watching this happening in real life, in real time, because I follow them on Instagram. And this to happen, reality TV or not, whatever's a skit or not, this was not skitted. So I don't know how to even react to it because of the fact that it hits home. So I'm going to talk about that. I will never forget one day I was 7, I want to say 7 or 8, and we are in the car. It's me and my mom and my sister, and we are going to Melissa Hernandez's birthday party. I'll never forget that day. And we're driving somewhere in Kendall. I want to say we were like on Killian somewhere or 104th. I'm not really sure. And we're in my mom's Eddie Bauer. She had an SUV. I don't remember what SUV it was. And all of a sudden I look up and we're at this red light. And I look up and I'm like, that's Daddy's truck. Right in front of us. Like, right in front of us. And back then they had those bodadis, those big ass blocks, And she pulls out her block and she calls him and she's like, hey, where are you? He's like, oh, I'm at the farm. And she's like, okay. She looks at me and she goes, no, he's at the farm. I just talked to him. I said, that's his tag. And I looked at her. I turned and I looked at her and I told her the tag. And she was like, oh my God. Mind you, we are still sitting at this red light. We're still sitting at the light and there's another car parked right next to it. And it's a Mercedes. It's like a, newer Mercedes. It's a station wagon. And this lady gets out of her car, 9 months pregnant, and jumps into that truck right in front of us as we're having this conversation about the tag. I'm going to leave it at that. Tune in next week, and I'll tell you guys the rest of my crazy ass divorce story. Love you.